It is deeply unfair that your baby can wake up at 2 in the morning like, "Good morning, bestie," while you are out here running on fumes. And the worst part is, they are not even upset. They are smiling. They are ready to chat, wiggle, practice standing, and host a tiny motivational conference in the dark. Hello, I'm Treasure, and I help exhausted working parents get out of the sleep chaos and into a calm, realistic plan that actually fits your baby and your real life. Now, let me say this out loud because you need to hear it. A baby who wakes happy and wants to party is not being manipulative. They are not winning, they are just awake. Here's the relieving truth. Most party wake-ups are a timing and sleep pressure issue, not a discipline issue. By the way, if you want this mapped out in a clear plan you can follow without spiraling, download my free guide, The Modern Parent Sleep Roadmap. The link is in the video description and on the screen. Let's start with what's really driving this. When a baby wakes up cheerful and alert in the middle of the night, it usually means one thing: their body is not feeling enough sleep pressure to stay asleep. Think of sleep pressure like a balloon you fill all day. If that balloon is not full enough at bedtime, or it leaks because naps went a little too long or too late, your baby wakes up like, "Oh, I have energy." There are a few common patterns that create this exact problem. One is undertired. That means your baby is getting more sleep than their body needs in a 24-hour period, or the timing of that sleep is spread in a way that leaves extra energy at night. This can happen even if you feel like they are tired. A baby can act tired and still be undertired for night sleep, especially if they are used to short bursts of sleep and lots of help getting back down. Another pattern is too much time in bed. If bedtime is early and morning starts late, you can accidentally create a very long night opportunity, and your baby's body says, "Great, I'll take some of this sleep, and then I'll take an hour of social time in the middle." And then there's the sneaky one. The last nap creeps late, or that late afternoon cat nap turns into a chunky nap, and suddenly bedtime is happening without enough awake time beforehand. Now, I also want to name a pattern that is not your fault. Sometimes babies get a little boost from the environment: a sliver of light, a hallway glow, a sound machine that shuts off, the neighbor's car headlights, your phone lighting up the room, or an early morning bird that needs to mind its business. And yes, sometimes it is developmental excitement. When babies are learning something big like rolling, crawling, pulling to stand, or babbling like a tiny podcaster, they practice at night because their brain is busy and their body is like, "Let's rehearse." Now let's talk about what helps starting tonight. The first goal is not to teach a lesson. The first goal is to stop turning that wake up into a rewarding hangout. If your baby pops up happy, treat night like the world's most boring customer service desk. You are open, you are calm, you are not rude, but you are absolutely not throwing a party. Keep the room dark. Keep your voice low and minimal. Keep your face neutral, even if you want to cry. If you're doing this solo, I want you to hear me. You do not need to do heroic, perfect, saint-level nights. You need a simple, repeatable response that protects your energy and keeps the message consistent. If your baby is safe and needs nothing urgent, you can pause before you intervene. Give them a moment to see if they settle. Some babies will roll around happily and then fall back asleep if we do not accidentally wake them up more. If you do go in, make it brief. A quick check, a quick soothe if needed, and back down. And if you usually feed during these wake-ups, here's a gentle clarity. If your baby truly needs a feed, feeding is fine. But when a happy wake becomes a full chat session with lights, talking, bouncing, and scrolling, your baby learns this is a thing we do now. So the question becomes, are we meeting a need or creating a pattern? Here's what's actually going on under the surface. Night waking is normal. What makes it turn into a party is the combination of not enough sleep, pressure, and too much engagement. so we fix it from both sides. We make nights boring, and we adjust the day so your baby has the right amount of pressure to stay asleep. Let me show you the smallest changes that make the biggest difference. Start by anchoring your morning. Pick a realistic morning start time and treat it like a daily reset, even if the night was rough. Morning light helps set their internal clock. A bright morning, a normal start, and consistent rhythms during the day can reduce those middle of the night ready to start my day moments. Then look at the last nap. If your baby is napping late, bedtime is going to be harder and night sleep pressure is going to be weaker. A lot of families get stuck here because they are scared to touch naps. I get it. You worked hard for those naps. You earned those naps. But if your baby is doing a midnight party, that is your clue that something in the timing needs a tiny shift. Not an overhaul, a shift. Sometimes it means that last nap needs to end earlier, so bedtime can happen after a solid stretch of awake time. Sometimes it means naps need a little cap, so total daytime sleep does not steal from nighttime sleep. And sometimes it means bedtime needs to move slightly later or slightly earlier, depending on your baby's patterns. This is where parents get whiplash because you hear early bedtime fixes everything and then you try it and your baby treats it like a nap. That is not you failing. That is your baby's body saying, I was not ready for a long night yet. Now, quick myth bust. A happy baby awake at night does not mean they do not need sleep training. It does not mean you created a bad baby. It usually means their schedule and sleep skills are not matching yet. Sleep skills matter here because even an undertired baby will eventually get sleepy again. But if they do not know how to fall back asleep without a lot of help, that happy wake can stretch longer and longer. So if your baby needs rocking, feeding, bouncing, or you lying next to them to fall asleep, it is worth building a gentle, consistent way for them to settle with less and less help over time. Not because you are cold, because you are a human who needs rest. Now I want to give you one very practical, do not accidentally make it worse reminder. If your baby wakes happy and you bring them into your bed with a foam glow and snack energy, your baby's brain tags it as morning. Even if you are just trying to survive. Even if you are being the sweetest parent on earth. So protect darkness like it is your paycheck, because honestly, it kind of is. Now I'm going to tell you the part that usually surprises parents. One of the fastest ways to reduce party wake-ups is to stop letting night and early morning become unpredictable. If some nights you play and some nights you do not, your baby will keep testing because sometimes the slot machine pays out. Consistency is not about being strict, it is about being clear. And here's when I'd stop guessing and get extra support. If your baby is awake and happy for a long stretch most nights, and it has been going on for weeks, you do not need more random tips. You need a plan that fits your baby's age, sleep needs, and your household. This is where a lot of professional parents get stuck because you do not have time to experiment for 2 more weeks. You have meetings, you have deadlines, you have a commute, you have a life that still expects you to function. If you want me to build a plan that actually matches your baby and your real schedule, that's what I do. I have a master's in social work, I'm a certified pediatric sleep consultant, and I'm the CEO of Rested and Renewed Pediatric Sleep Consulting. And yes, I'm also a toddler mom, so I understand the kind of tired that makes you forget your own name. You can book a consultation and we'll get you out of the guessing game. And if you are not ready to book, start with my free Modern Parent Sleep Roadmap so you at least have a clear map instead of 50 tabs open at midnight. Now let's close the loop with a simple way to tell what kind of party wake-up you're dealing with. If your baby wakes happy and stays happy, it is usually timing, sleep pressure, and routine cues. If your baby wakes happy but gets cranky fast, that can be a clue that they are overtired and cannot connect cycles smoothly, or they are waking from discomfort and trying to cope. That is where we tighten the basics and we keep an eye on patterns. And if your baby wakes happy but also seems unusually restless, sweaty, breathing looks off, or you are seeing anything that feels medically concerning, trust your gut and talk to your pediatrician. You never have to sleep consult your way through a health question. But for the typical cheerful, wide-eyed, ready to start the day wake up, your path is clear. Make nights boring and make days set up sleep pressure properly. You are not failing. Your baby is not broken. You just need the noise turned down and the plan turned on. If this already made you feel calmer about what is happening tonight, the next video is going to help you spot the hidden pattern that keeps parents stuck in the same exhausting loop, even when they feel like they have tried everything. Tap the screen to watch my next video.
Don't forget, download the guide, subscribe for more clarity, and tap this screen. Trust me on this one.